Welcome back, everybody. At least there's one thing we don't need to worry about going viral. It's time for Trtan Back Time.
Be back with Trtan Back Time.
Yeah.
Zing.
Yeah, good observation. All right, here goes nothing. March 16th, 1974, President Richard Nixon plays piano for the opening of the Grand Ole Opry's new theater. He plays, what else? God Bless America. Happy birthday to George C. Parker. I like this guy, although not a nice guy. 1860, American conman noted for repeatedly selling the Brooklyn Bridge, Grant's Tomb, and the Statue of Liberty, among others. You know, people throw that around like a joke. No, this is the guy who really did it. Yeah.
Oh.
He supposedly sold the Brooklyn Bridge as often as twice a week, with police having to stop new owners from setting up toll booths. Yes. Now, if you look him up, he was convicted, sentenced to life in Sing Sing prison, where he died.
Well, I had no idea.
It was the real deal.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Con man of all con men.
Yeah. March 17th, 1968, the Bee Gees make their American TV debut on the Ed Sullivan Show, singing the songs To Love Somebody and Words. And a lot of people, they think of the Bee Gees as very disco and everything. No, they were not disco when they first started out.
I wouldn't have known who that was in that picture if you gave me all day to guess at it without it saying so on the drum.
Yeah. Well, that's true. They don't even look like what we see them as right now.
Nothing like that.
All right. A happy birthday, Gottlieb Wilhelm Daimler. You know that name, Daimler. Okay, 1834. German inventor who developed the first high-speed internal combustion engine in 1883 and invented the motorcycle in 1885. Also had something to do with speedboat. March 18th, 1990, a pair of thieves dressed as policemen steal 13 works of art valued at over $500 million from the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston, in what is the largest property theft in history. The thieves got past the museum guard by saying they were responding to a reported disturbance. Now, evidence from the scene, including handcuffs and duct tape, may have contained DNA, but was lost by the FBI. The case remains unsolved.
The largest in history.
Wow.
Wow.
Happy birthday to John Caldwell Calhoun. In 1782, he was our 7th U.S. Vice President from 1824 to 1832. After a disagreement with President Andrew Johnson, he became the first U.S. Vice President to resign, and he went on to fill a vacancy in the Senate. March 19, 1916, all right, considered the first U.S. air combat mission. 8 planes in support of 7,000 United States troops take off in pursuit of Mexican revolutionary Pancho Villa. You don't think of Pancho Villa and airplanes at the same time.
No.
Right. All right. Orders were to capture Villa, dead or alive. The troops pursued Villa until February of the following year, killing 190 of his men, but Villa survived the assault.
And his horse, too?
And his horse, too, yeah. Happy birthday to Bill Wam. This is a tough, you think my name is tough. Wamgans, all right, Wamsgans.
It's spelled really funny. Trust us on that.
It is Wambsganss, Wamgans. All right, in 1894 he was born. He made the first and only World Series unassisted triple play in 1920. Cleveland Indians second baseman, him, catches a line drive by Clarence Mitchell of the Brooklyn Dodgers. 1 out. He steps on second base to Fort Pete Kilduff. 2, then tagged Otto Miller coming from first base. 3.
Unassisted. Gotcha.
Unassisted triple play in the World Series, the only one. 1917, possibly one of the greatest inventions known to man, the zipper is patented by one Mr. Gideon Sunback.
How many, but talk about a worthwhile endeavor.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. Something we use all day, every day.
This is a favorite of mine, all right?
Good job.
Happy birthday B.F. Skinner in 1904. He was an American psychologist, pioneer in behaviorism. He worked on the World War II Project Pigeon, which tried to develop pigeon-guided bombs. Here's how it works. A glider with a bomb attached had a guidance system in the nose cone. The system projected an image onto a screen. Several pigeons were trained to recognize a particular target, would peck at the screen when they saw the target. If the target moved to the edge of the screen, the pigeon's pecking would follow it on the screen, and the guidance system would adjust the direction of the glider to recenter the target, keeping the glider on course.
Talk about thinking outside the box on that one, right?
No kidding.
Crazy. Crazy.
All right, and last but not least, this. Do you know why Chicago is called the Windy City?
The only reason I can think of is Lake Michigan. It's really windy.
Nope.
I'm sure that's just dumbing it down way too much.
That's what
is it?
everybody thinks.
Yeah.
It's due to journalists in like the 1800s and everything. Basically, they were calling like politicians and stuff a bunch of windbags.
Oh.
And that's why they call it the Windy City.
Didn't know that.
All right, that's it for this edition of Trtan Back Time.
If I could turn back time.
And coming up, we get to talk with our friends from Ozark Mountain Music.
All right, you don't want to miss this. We'll be right back.